Hey there guys, it's Squiddy here, and today I'm going to be bringing you my first impressions and some gameplay footage from Bloodborne. Now, as you saw at the start of the video, I picked up the Nightmare edition of Bloodborne, and you might feel that I would be a veteran and big fan of Demon Souls and Dark Souls for picking up that edition, but in fact I haven't played either of the games in the Spiritual series, so going into Bloodborne I wasn't quite sure what to expect. Before buying the game, I did watch quite a lot of reviews and impressions videos to try to understand whether the game might be for me or not. And I was surprised by the amount of people who recommended not picking up the game, just because I assume they're worried that you might not get over the difficulty in the learning curve if you're a new player, but I'd have to say I totally disagree with that assessment so far. I've found that Bloodborne's perfectly accessible to any moderately competent gamer. Sure, the game's challenging and definitely has a bit of a learning curve, but within about an hour or two of playing the game, I felt like I was getting to grips with most of the mechanics, the dodging and counter-attacking, and I felt like I could hold my own against the enemies. I've played for about 5 or 6 hours, and I've defeated the first 2 bosses, and I'm just about to try my luck with the third. And so far I haven't felt like the challenge has been insurmountable or frustrating at all. Now the reason that it hasn't felt frustrating is that the challenge never feels unfair. You never die and feel like it wasn't justified, or that it was due to poor controls or poor gameplay mechanics, like quite a few games that I've played in the past. It requires learning the enemy animations and learning how to dodge and counterattack and to best deal with each enemy as they come. Now, I've only managed to do the first 2 bosses, like I said, but I've been surprised with the variation between those 2 bosses. The first boss that you'll see in this clip, actually, the Cleric Beast, is a giant, intimidating, sort of wolf-type character, who's actually very powerful in his attack, but he's very slow-moving, and you're able to get behind him and sort of attack him that way. Whereas the second boss is incredibly fast, and he can attack from range as well with his shotgun and his weapon extension. He then also transforms into a beast who's also incredibly fast, so there's definitely a contrast between the slow and fast enemies there, and they both require a different style of gameplay. So really Bloodborne's difficulty comes from trying to adapt to these different enemies in different situations. Presentation-wise, Bloodborne looks fantastic. The environments and character models both look great, and they've really done well to create a really sort of terrifying and interesting world that you really want to explore. The world also helps to create some of the tension in the game, along with the difficulty. It really makes for a suspenseful sort of atmosphere, and you're always worrying about what's going to be around the next corner. Now, my one criticism of Bloodborne is that the game doesn't hold your hand at all. Now, I'm sure some of you now would be saying, well, the game's not meant to, it's meant to be a challenge, but I think there's a difference between challenge and confusion, and to some extent I felt that I was confused by certain things in the game. So examples of that would be the leveling system. I wasn't quite sure how to level up. I didn't understand what insight was, what different stats did, what some of the items did, and I think that could definitely be included in the game without taking away from the difficulty. So I think for new players, it definitely would have been nice to have a little bit more information of certain things like that. And like I say, I don't think that would have taken away from the challenge of the game at all. I think it just would have made it a bit more accessible to a new player. But yeah, overall that's a really minor criticism of the game, and for the most part the game is fantastic and perfectly accessible, as I've said. So thanks for watching guys. I know it was quite a short video, but hopefully it's given you an idea of what the game's like, and if you were apprehensive about buying the game beforehand, hopefully this has put your mind at rest that it's definitely worth picking up and giving it a go, even if you are a novice player to the series. So again, thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. I will be doing a playthrough of the game soon, so hopefully you guys will join me for that. And until next time, take it easy.